everyone, welcome to part 3 of the Voyage of my yarn wall, and today we're going to look at the last 2 shelves on our first row over here. We have already, let's see if I can move the camera, we've already looked at the white up here, we've looked at the red, we've looked at the greens, we looked at the pinks, and today we're going to look at this shelf and we're going to look at this shelf right here on the bottom. So if you're ready, let's get started. So here are the orange and yellow acrylic yarns. The majority of these were bought at Walmart and I paid $2.94 for them. If there is something different than the Walmart yarns at $2.94, I will let you know on those specific ones. So as you can see, I have some that I had already used, and so I went ahead and wound them into little cakes. And so this first one is pale yellow. All of these are pale yellow, and this one is also a pale yellow. All right, and then this is a bright yellow. Let's see, there we go. And this one's a mainstay from Walmart. I paid $1.97 for this. That is the Walmart mainstay acrylic yarn price. And I bought this one on October 6, 2019. And so unless I tell you, and it's in the gold, unless I tell you, I don't know the price, because some of these I started marking before I started actually including the date. I was just doing where I got it and how much I paid. And this is called Saffron, and it's in the gold family. And this one also is part of the bright yellow. And yeah, I got it from Walmart, $2.94. All right, so that kind of ends all of the yellow. And then next is the orange, and this was a carrot. And these are pumpkin. Whoops. Yeah, they're both pumpkin. Really pretty color. And this is a little bit of pumpkin left over. You can see the pumpkin right there. All right, so the last little bit of yarn that was on that shelf is one of those situations where I bought the yarn with a project in mind. So in other words, I saw the yarn and immediately thought of product or project. So it's one of those where the yarn came first. So to me, this looks like a light pale yellow, and we discussed this not too long ago in another video, but it's not. It's actually Karen's 1 pound cream color. You can see cream right there. Oops, right there. And as you can see, I bought this from Joann's on November 30th of 2019. It is normally $10.99, and I got both of them at $4.79 a piece. So I got those because I kind of have been drawn to light yellow as of recent, but I've also fallen in love with variegated yarns. And I know this is not yellow or orange, but it was on that shelf. And it's the Baja Blue. I got these from Joann's. They're normally $7.99. I got them for $5.99 on November 30th, 2019. So apparently I found these first. And I just fell in love with that variegated blue. And so then later in the day, apparently when I was at Joann's, I got this, and my goal is to make was to make a blanket out of that for my yarn nook. As you can see from the walls there, they're like a light blue, and so I wanted a blanket that I could put on the back of my chair, and that way if I needed something to snuggle up with while I was working, I could put it over my shoulders or over on the couch while I watch TV and crochet. So that was the goal. I will tell you that right up here behind me, which you can't see, and you can kind of see at the top there, let's see, and then go right below, right in here. Behind all that is some yarn, and it's that feels like butter yarn, and I'm thinking about making a blanket out of that. So now I'm kind of leaning more towards creating baskets with this for my yarn nook. So we'll see. All right, so that finishes up the acrylic yellow and orange shelf. And if you're ready, we'll go on to the very bottom shelf and see what's down there. So before we go into the bottom shelf, if you'll look and I'm sorry if it's or makes you dizzy. I hope I'm not trying to. So if you'll look right here, when I put the pinks back, I had a lot of space left open. So I looked for another color that would be kind of similar into that family that I didn't have a lot of. And guess what I found? I found purple. So let's just kind of move us back over here. And so we're going to take a look at what I have in the purple acrylic family. All of this is Walmart yarn except for one, so we'll start with that, and it's Hobby Lobby. And this is called Grapette. This yarn I purchased when I was making the hoodie for my youngest son's girlfriend, the purple one that you've seen, and this was yarn that was left over from that. It's very, very pretty. So, and this was $4.99 at Hobby Lobby. All right, and then the rest of this is Walmart yarn. The Red Heart Super Saver, this color is called Amethyst, and these were the 7-ounce skeins, which is 198 grams or 364 yards. And so that's the Amethyst. And I honestly do not know what this color is. If I had to guess, it is probably Red Heart's Grape. And it was a 7-ounce skein as well. And these yarns run for $2.94. And this is the Orchid from Red Heart yarn. Got some peeking out there. And also it was $2.94, and it's also one of these 7-ounce skeins. I'm eventually, after I make my yarns into cakes, I'm going to eventually try and come up with these little place cards that I can attach to the pull string, and on there I'll also include the information, you know, the color, the place I bought it, the price I paid for it, and the date, and those will be on those little pull cards. So those are a project for probably this fall. And then the last 3 colors that I have in the purple are Walmart yarns. They are the mainstays. It's just in the colorway purple, and those are $1.97. So we're going to add those right over here to the shelf with the pinks. All right, so now I'll be back in just a minute with the bottom shelf. So before we get started and what was in that bottom shelf, basket, however you want to look at it,
I am going to show you a couple more yarns that I had found tucked in with the purple that we will kind of put up here with our red and our burgundy. And the first one, it's a variegated yarn. It's a lot like the blue Baja that I showed you earlier. It's called Anemone. And I had used that to make a shawl, is what I had bought this yarn for. And I know I got it from Walmart, and I believe I paid $7.99 for it. But this is what I had left over. So then I have these skeins. I went ahead and wound them into cake balls. Whoops. And I'm going to be very honest, I don't know what the colors are. And if I had to guess, because it's Red Heart, most of my Red Heart, unless I'm looking for something specific, I get from Walmart. So these are definitely probably Walmart Red Heart acrylic yarns. So these will also go up here with my red and burgundies. All right, so I have this yarn tucked down there. I have fallen in love with this variegated yarn, and now that I did that gray hoodie for my oldest son, I have come to love these yarns a whole lot more because of just the way the colorway just works itself together. So I am very excited and anxious to actually do something with these teals. It is called Deep Teal. I got these from Joann's on November 30th of 2019. They're normally $7.99 and I paid $5.99. And I probably, originally when I got these to do a shawl. So I might make a small lapgan out of it, and then if I have any left, then do a shawl. But that is the plan for these. All right, so let me put those to the side. And going into these, I'm going to introduce this one first, and there's a reason why. This is Lion Brand Yarn, Hometown USA. I got all of these from Walmart on June 27th of 2019, and I paid 75 cents a skein for them. They are normally $2.97. And the reason I got them is because I have never worked with a bulky yarn. This is a 6-weight super bulky yarn. It is, let's see, 100% acrylic, and this skein is 5 ounces, which is 142 grams, 81 yards. And I don't know if I mentioned that it is from Lion Brand. It is in the colorway Hoboken or Hoboken honey. And so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skeins. That is what they had on clearance. And so I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it because I had never worked with bulky yarn that was this big. I still have not worked with it yet. It's very soft. It doesn't even feel like acrylic to me at all. So my thought was, you know, I might just maybe make a rug or, you know, another lapgan for a guy out of it. But then one day in April of this year, April 18th, I was in Walmart and I found more of that yarn. I had not seen that yarn since I bought this yarn. And so I thought, well, maybe this was a discontinued yarn and that's why it was on clearance. Because I hadn't seen it. Of course, I hadn't really been looking for it either. But I came across these colors, and mainly this one. And remembering that brown, I thought, oh my gosh, how pretty. I mean, those are my logo colors, actually, if you stop and think about it, actually. So I bought some. I got it for $2.97, so I paid the full price for it. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skeins of that. Because not having worked with it, I'm not sure how, you know, it works up, you know, as far as the size of the swatch and whatnot. So I wanted to make sure if I was going to do a blanket or a rug that I would have enough of a color. And so then the only other yarn, and that was all the yarn they had. Those 6 skeins was it when it came to that color. The only other colors or yarn period they had in this hometown Lion Brand yarn were these 2 whites and this peach color. So I got them. And so I thought, well, if I do a blanket or I do a rug, I'll just incorporate these, you know, in segments within the majority of this teal, which by the way is called Miami Seafoam is what it's called. Let's see if you can see that. And then this one skein is called Providence Pink. And then these are called New York White. So I started off just buying to try and then buying to make. So this will be an exciting project going forward to see what I end up actually making with this. So I'm real excited. So I'm hoping that this will be something that will come to life maybe more this summer. So, all right, well, that wraps us up for this section of our voyage through my yarn wall. I hope you have enjoyed it. And until next time, be joyful, stay crafty, and go make your own joyful creations. Bye.